Alright, anime fans, imagine saving an entire world, only to come back and find it stolen from you, not destroyed, not conquered through some epic war, just taken by aliens. Yeah, that's exactly how insane Bakugan, New Vestria gets. After the events of the first season, Dan and Drago should have been enjoying a well-earned victory. Vestria had finally been saved. The battles were over. Dragon and other Bakugan went to Vestria, and humans continue their lives. Everything was supposed to be peaceful, but peace doesn't last very long in the world of Bakugan, because while Dan was living his normal life on Earth, a new threat arrived, and this one was unlike anything the battle brawlers had ever faced. Now let's be honest. When people talk about Bakugan, Season 1 gets most of the attention, and for good reason. It introduced the world, it introduced Drago, it introduced the battle brawlers. But if Season 1 built the foundation, then New Vestria cranked everything up to 11. The stakes became bigger, the villains became stronger, the battles became crazier, and Drago became an absolute monster. This wasn't just another season, this was Bakugan evolving. The story begins with Dan receiving a shocking message from Drago. Something is wrong, very wrong. When Dan arrives in New Vestria, he discovers a complete nightmare. The peaceful Bakugan world he helped save has been invaded by a race of aliens called the Vestals. And these guys aren't interested in friendship, they're interested in domination. The Bakugan have been captured, enslaved, used as tools, and the once free world of New Vestria is now under the control of the evil Vestal Empire. Suddenly this isn't about tournaments anymore, this isn't about proving who's the strongest. This is a war for the freedom of an entire species, and Dan is thrown right into the middle of it, alongside a new group of resistance fighters known as the Bakugan Resistance. Together, they must fight back against the Vestals and liberate New Vestria before it's too late. This season is better in character development. Dan is older now, more experienced, more mature, well, at least slightly more mature. He's still reckless, still stubborn, still the kind of guy who sees a dangerous situation and immediately runs toward it. But that's exactly why people follow him, because Dan never gives up, no matter how impossible the odds become. And then there's Drago. Holy shit. Drago levels up hard this season. He's no longer just Dan's partner, he's becoming a true leader, a symbol of hope for all Bakugan. Every evolution feels bigger, every battle feels more important, and every time Drago steps onto the battlefield, you know things are about to get serious. Then we have the resistance. First is Myra, the daughter of the very empire causing all this chaos, yet she chooses to fight for what's right. She's smart, capable, and honestly one of the best additions to the series. Then we have Ace, cool, confident, a little cocky, the kind of guy who always looks like he knows something everyone else doesn't. And then there's Baron, the heart of the team, the guy who genuinely cares about Bakugan and never loses his optimism coming to the villains. Now let's talk about the Vestals, because these bastards are a massive upgrade from many of Season 1's opponents. The Vestals aren't random bad guys, they're elite fighters. Each one specializes in different battle styles, and every time the Resistance wins, the Vestals come back stronger, smarter, more dangerous. And leading them is the Vestal royal family, a group willing to control an entire world for power. What makes them dangerous isn't just strength, it's arrogance. They genuinely believe they have the right to rule everyone, and that's what makes defeating them so satisfying. Now let's talk about the action. This is where New Vestria absolutely shines. The battles are bigger, faster, and way more intense. Gone are the days of simple one-on-one matches. Now every battle feels like part of a larger war. Bakugan are evolving, new abilities appear constantly, strategies become more important, and the visual spectacle goes through the roof every time Drago evolves. It feels earned, not because the plot says so, but because you've watched him fight for every bit of that power. And honestly, watching Drago continue climbing toward becoming one of the strongest Bakugan ever is hype as hell. Coming to animation and music. For its time, New Vestria looked fantastic. The Bakugan designs became more detailed, the battles became more dynamic, and the new environments made the world feel much larger than before. Then there's the music. The soundtrack knows exactly when to get your blood pumping. Every major battle feels important, every victory feels earned, and every setback feels painful, exactly how it should. Coming to the themes, underneath all the explosions and monster battles, New Vestria is really about freedom. The Bakugan aren't just fighting to survive, they're fighting for the right to choose their own future. The season also explores loyalty, because again and again we see characters forced to choose between power and doing what's right. Some make the right choice, others don't. and those decisions shaped the entire story. Also, this is the last season where we see the original 6 brawlers together for the last time. Later on the series kinda just forgot them, and we rarely ever see them, so why it's worth watching. Even today, New Vestroia remains one of the strongest Bakugan seasons ever made. It takes everything that worked in Season 1 and improves it. The stakes are higher, the villains are better, the action is stronger, and the character growth feels meaningful for many fans. This is peak Bakugan. Final thoughts. Bakugan, New Vestroia isn't just a sequel, it's a full-scale upgrade. It transforms Bakugan from a fun monster-battling adventure into an epic war for an entire world. You get incredible battles, great new characters, memorable villains, and some of the best Drago moments in the entire franchise. Pause, and honestly. Watching Dan and Drago return to save a world they already fought so hard to protect, that never stops being badass. Because sometimes being a hero isn't about winning once, it's about standing back up when the fight starts all over again. That's it for today. Share your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe for more anime content, and I'll catch you in the next one. My battle brawlers, Bakugan rules.